Hi, my name is Nadia Garzone, and today my ethnic studies research presentation will be on educational inequity in Kern County. My paper is labeled Explaining Low Educational Performance in the Kern County High School District. Introduction and Significance. The Promise versus Systemic Barriers. Public education is designed to give every student an equal opportunity for good education and success. However, across the 19 high schools in the Kern County High School District, structural inequities hinder student achievement. District academic context. The Kern County High School District experiences some of the lowest academic performance outcomes in California. This performance gap is not a result of student capability, but rather a reflection of state resource distribution policies and unaddressed leader and constituent disconnects at the district level. Ethnic Studies Connection, Institutional Racism. California property tax loopholes create structural funding gaps, leaving lower income majority minority districts operating on bare minimum state budgets. Power dynamics, a political disconnect exists between white district leaders and majority Latino constituents, routinely shutting community expertise out of governance, a two-sided low trust relationship. Cultural resistance, rejecting forced assimilation in white middle-class academic standards in favor of culturally responsive practices that honor Latino heritage while also increasing academic performance. Regional context and background. The Local Control Funding Formula, LCFF. Passed in 2013, the LCFF aimed to increase funding for low-income English learner and foster youth populations while adding transparency. Although a positive step, the LCFF did not eliminate deep regional wealth divides across California school districts. Majority Latino community. Half of the Kern County population is Latino, according to the 2010 census. And as you can see in the graph that I inserted, the projected 2060 census has the Latino population close to 60%. Conservative politics. Trust is very important in Kern County in order to have community engagement. Challenges when trying to advance policies that address inequalities in Kern County is rampant. Majority minority constituents don't feel invited to the table. Research focus and core thesis. So, impacting 19 Kern County High School District schools, the Kern County High School District suffers from persistent low academic performance due to an inequitable resource allocation policy at the state level and a lack of meaningful dialogue between white local leadership and minority constituents. So my main claims in the paper are the property tax loopholes found in the LCFF. So basic aid districts in affluent coastal counties keep excess property taxes, funding AP courses in lower class sizes, while the Kern County High School District survives on bare minimum state funds from the LCFF. Kern County High School District therefore has limited money for supplemental resources for students. Students essentially are on their own to reach academic success. Political and cultural isolation. District leadership views marginalized residents as unqualified, dismissing Latino parent advocacy as irrational rather than utilizing local community wisdom. There is a separation and a lack of trust between leaders and the people they represent. Assimilation pressures. Enforcing white middle-class linguistic standards suppresses Latino heritage, directly contributing to low English language arts engagement and performance. A non-white majority population is being weighed against a white system of academic achievement that does not take into account a rich history of differing educational metrics. Source perspectives and context, policy and structural analysis are found in PACE 2025 and UC Davis CRC 2017, which provide big picture quantitative and policy data examining California's school finance systems, property tax distribution, and the Central Valley socio-environmental inequities. Narrative and pedagogy. studies, Howell 2017 and Wyckoff et al. 2026 bring qualitative ethnic studies frameworks exploring Chicana feminist identity, institutional resistance to Brown voices, and culturally responsive STEM enrichment programs. Scholarly research and evidence. So these are my 4 sources. As you can see, the first source goes over the basic aid districts, retaining surplus property taxes, widening inequity against Kern County High School District. The next source goes over the language and cultural barriers causing leaders to misperceive residents as uninterested. The third source is about institutions' privilege, rigid policy over Brown women's authority and lived experience. And my last source is about culturally responsive practices, fostering Latino youth empowerment and academic success. So, representation and voice is included and centered. My research explicitly centers working class Latino families and youth. Latinos make up the majority of the Kern County population, and they face unique challenges within a white conservative local political system. Excluded voices, African American, Asian, and white populations are not centered because they are smaller demographics in Kern County. The Black population faced excessive disciplinary actions that hindered academics that the other racial groups don't. Agency and resistance. Culturally responsive affirmation. Programs like Math CEO show that integrating students' cultural backgrounds build genuine youth empowerment and increases academic performance. Challenging the status quo. Community advocates and parents actively pushing back against institutional spaces that demand assimilation and unaccented English. Greater push to have more representation in local politics and active participation in local politics as well. Transformative partnership, shifting district governments from top-down exclusion to collaborative decision-making alongside Latino families can begin to grow a real trust-based relationship and understanding between politicians and their constituents to bring social justice into attention. So, conclusions and key takeaways. This is a quote from my paper. Low performance is not because students cannot succeed, but because the system is failing them. Achieving educational equity in Kern County requires local leadership that welcomes Latino families as essential partners and new culturally inclusive approaches to education, all within the strict LCFF budget. I'd like to note that I did not say that the LCFF policy should be reformed and tax loopholes addressed because it is a state matter. And I wanted to focus in my paper on solutions that Kern County and the Kern County High School District can implement themselves on addressing our particular academic performance. These are my works cited, and that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.